You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Chanel Amir, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Chanel Amir, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. A podcast that holds space and celebrates the strength and resilience and growth of mindful Black women. And today we have a special guest, someone who's no matter how much time away from each other, when we connect, it's always a vibe. And she's creating so much change in the world. It's beautiful. The beautiful Larissa Lane. She's not just a close friend, but also an inspiration, a light that just illuminates the path for so many around her. Her story is a testament to the power of perseverance, the beauty of transformation, and just the limitless potential that resides within each of us. And as our conversation unfolds, you'll discover insights that will touch your heart, challenge your perspective, and hopefully empower you to embrace your journey. So listen in. So what's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Chanel Amir, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I have a special someone that I know personally, and it's been a long time. I was been supposed to have her on the show a long time ago, but you know, life be life, and I keep talking about this, but I finally got to the point where I can ask this beautiful soul to be on the show and just bless us with just all the information. So she is Larissa Lane. Welcome to the What She Grows Through podcast, and I'm just so excited.
Thank you for having me, Nelly. I just appreciate being here with you.
And that's so funny because y'all heard it right now. Larissa just said Nelly. No one knows that that's my nickname, but the people closest to me. So yes, I'm so excited. Like, where do you want to start? Do you want to start like how we know each other before we even go in there?
Yeah, we can start with how we know each other.
Okay, so should I tell my version of it and then like you can like go?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, y'all. So it was band camp. So one time at band camp, right? This girl, they roomed me with this girl that I didn't know, but I was like, yeah, sure. And from then on, we were like attached to the hip, best friends. We never left each other. And I just ended up being a part of the family. And she had an older sister, and her sister's name was Larissa. And she just treated me like her older sister. I mean, her younger, her sister, however that goes, her sister, right? And I was just in it, and we've just been kind of rocking ever since. I mean, she was also my hairstylist and got to know all of the tea that I was growing through in those situations and just experiences that even got me to this point of being able to talk about things with you. So, I mean, you got a lot of just inspiration that like helped, you know, have a part in that. So yeah, did I get it? I was like,
you did it. That's good. I'm proud of you, though. I'm proud of you. Yes, I'm proud of you even coming, getting to this point of having what she grows through. So I think that's super cool, and to watch you grow and progress, it's amazing. I'm super proud of you.
Oh my goodness. So do you want to show like you're in like on how you thought of me, this little short girl?
Short girl. So my sister Brittany went to band camp because we're all Commodores over here. But yeah, she went to band camp and she met Nelly. And I remember her coming back and she told me she met this girl. And they were like, literally were attached at the hip, right? Like they were inseparable. Really inseparable. It's crazy. And Nelly really just became a part of the family. Like just really sweet young girl. Just as wild as my sister. Just as funny as my sister. They were dancing all the time, laughing, joking, just a good time. And just treating you like my little sister. And we just grew, right? We just grew from there. And then becoming your hairstylist and getting to know you even as a woman was a whole nother level. And it's beautiful to see. To me it's super beautiful to see.
It's just beautiful to see both of us like growing, and then like how we take different paths, and life gets us where we be at, like but then for us to still figure out and what's important to reroute that back, where our paths meet up again, you realize what's important. So can you just introduce who you are in this moment? Like, who is Larissa and how you feel yourself expanding in this moment with everything like going on around us?
Okay, so it's interesting. So I view myself in different dynamics, right? So there's the personal me, and then there's the professional me, right? Two different parts. Two different parts of me. So the personal me, I am kind and loving and nurturing. I am I'm a worshiper. I am resilient. I'm a positive thinker. I just progress in life, right? The professional me.
Nice.
The professional.
Which one was that? The professional or personal?
Oh, okay. Personal. The professional me. I'm a makeup artist, an Emmy award-winning makeup artist.
Let's put that on there.
Yes. A hairstylist, a beauty school teacher, skincare curator. Wow. Yeah. And a writer.
Wow, doing all the things. So like the definition of Black girl magic. This is why, of course, like I look up to you and just feel inspired, because it encourages me to continue to do all the things. Like if I could see that you can do it and do it very well, then yes, like I can do it
for anybody.
Yes.
Listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes, for sure. And I love that you know the difference. Like, okay, yeah, this is the personal me, and then this is the professional me, knowing that you got different versions of yourself that still make up yourself. Absolutely. That you need both of them. The balance, I guess.
Yes.
Like,
yes. There's a balance.
Right. It's deep. And it has to be for real. Or maybe even just a little, I'll say it gotta be a balance, because we gotta make sure we doing the personal and the professional.
Yes, it has to be a balance. It's something I had to learn through life, because it can spill over into the other, and then your life will be, upside down. So you have to create that balance. I'll just say, you have to create the balance to excel, right, on whatever level you need to.
And I just love that you said that now, because like I feel like I'm finally getting to a balance, because I wasn't with all these things that was happening to me with the 3 businesses / jobs, and then ended up having another child, being a single mom, but having another child but my choice of doing so. So just the struggles with all of that, and then finances, like trying to get yourself back up there, because like you're falling off with the mindset and all these things. So I realized that I did need to balance myself, recenter myself, because what I'm doing is not working, And I'm not doing the things that I need to do on the personal level because I'm all these other things that I'm giving my attention to, the professional. I'm on like all of these things.
Yeah.
Like, no, I gotta do it. I gotta figure it out. And
yeah,
this is a step. So I think that it just aligns perfectly with like, you know, us connecting today.
absolutely.
So can you tell us like your why, like with doing everything that you're doing? Like, how did you get to this moment? What's your big why? And you know, how did that lead you to share your story?
So my why became bigger than me. It became about those coming behind me. My why is, you know, the legacy you leave, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be blood. It can be those you mentor, those who are looking at you, but you don't know they're looking at you, right? But just the people who they're like, well, you know, you did this, so to me, it made me believe in myself, right? Or if you could do that, I could do that. Or like the why became at some point, like things are going to be hard, right? When you go through life, like things are going to be hard, but someone sometimes have to be the first to do it, to help the other people coming behind. So that became the why, like doing it not just for myself, but doing it for those coming behind me. Yeah. And what was the other part?
The other part was, how did that push you to, you know, just even come here to like tell your story?
So my why pushed me to come here because, like I said, doing things to help the next person is like the goal, right? For me, is always to help others. Like the goal is always to help others, to help encourage others, to help elevate others, and inspire others. Because for me, it's just like, if you're not helping somebody else, what's the point?
Right.
You know, like it's one thing to, you know, do well yourself. That's nice. But after all said and done, like who else are you helping? So.
And I think that that's important to note because it just shows how selfless you are. Because a lot of us, we think that we have to do it all alone. We have to do all of these things. But I feel like what we're learning is that it's better to do it with people, like building those connections and in the community so that we all can do those things. I mean, you're just in the front, like got in a way, letting us know, and then it gives us the courage to, you know, continue to do it, and then we can look back and pull different people up, and you know, it's just like we're all evolving as we grow. We want to pour our cup into other people's. You want to share those gems like along the way. So you just knowing that and that being your why, I think is pretty dope.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah,
thank you. I do. I mean, it is really important because it's just like, you know, when you go through things in life, as you go through things in life, it's like sometimes we get in these moments where we feel like we're the only ones who've gone through these things, right? We feel like we're the only one, we're like alone. In reality, you're not alone. There are other people, right, who's gone through things with you. Like I've had, like even through my, you know, recent tragedy, and just having a community of people that I didn't even know existed, you know, like just encourage me or just be supportive to me and just help guide me, right, and lead me because they've gone through it first. So they're able to help me, right, go through certain things or to support me in ways that I didn't realize that I need. And I think that's what's important too, is like you don't realize how what you go through help others. You don't realize that what you do helps others, it supports others, it encourages them, it shows them, okay, they went through that path, they understand. All right, well, let me continue on, because there's moments where you want to give up. There's moments where you're like, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of being the strong one. And it's just like, there are other people who are also the strong ones, right? And if they can continue to push through, then so can you. So it's just all about, like I said, when you go through things, I had to learn to share. It was really hard for me to share the things that I've gone through. It was hard for me to share, especially on social media. It was easier for me to share like behind the chair, right? Like, so being a stylist and stuff, and
behind the chair.
Yeah. it was easier to do that because it was so much more personal, right? But for me, it became a challenge to share publicly. But it was also the moments where, like, my relationship with God is like, God was telling me, I didn't just send you through this for no reason. Like, you carry more than just talking to one person or talking to, this person. Is like, I prepared you behind the chair for you to share with other people, right? Beyond that. And it's like, if I can help this one person, usually doing their hair or something, like, how many other people can you encourage? How many other people can you help? And I know sometimes people are always like, oh, I don't want people in my business, right? But I learned there's a way to share. There's a way to encourage. There's a way, and everyone's not meant for you either, right? Everyone's not meant for your story. So, but the people that are, you share it and you encourage them, and they will find goodness in that, and they will find encouragement in that.
I love that. So basically what you're saying is, like, when you start to share your story in a way that feels comfortable for you, that's when you find your people. That's when you find the people who been along that journey and can give you the breadcrumbs or like the blueprint on how they were able to get through it. So, it's an encouragement for you too. Like, so if I can take this path, like, I know that I can get to the other side, but still being mindful of like what has happened, but then also how far you've come. Because like when they're talking about little steps and just taking a step one step at a time, eventually that leads to a longer path, or I don't know how I should say that last one.
Yeah. I mean, it is, honestly, it's like one step at a time leads you to, like, it's like when you take one step at a time, and at some point when you realize how far you've come, it's like, well, dang, I took a whole lot of steps. But it's like, because you only focus on the one step in front of you, which is, most important. So.
Right. Yeah. And then being able to see how far you did, like, oh my goodness, because there's just so much in front of us, but then like if we take the time to realize what we already been through, like that can like be a pick me up too.
Yes.
But in terms of that, do you have a specific self-limiting belief that you feel that you either had to grow through or continuing to grow through along your journey?
Yeah, so one of my self-limiting beliefs was that, so like, I've always wanted to do film, right? I've always wanted to be a makeup artist. Many don't know that makeup artistry was like always something I wanted to do first, prior, like long before hair came in the picture, right? Hair just so happened to come in the picture later. But I wanted to be a makeup artist a long time ago. And for me, I like limited my belief on what I could do or what I could achieve because I just didn't see it. Like in Pittsburgh, I never met anyone who did it. I didn't know that it was a possibility. So I would limit myself on what I could achieve, right? And I learned by limiting yourself on what you can achieve, like mentally, right? That is true. Right? If you limit yourself, if you believe something about yourself, it becomes true. So it was that would like set this limit on what I could achieve, what I could do, how far I could go. And that was something that I had to work through. That was something that I had to work through. And even sometimes it is hard because you see what you're against. Like you see the things you're up against, right? And like that was like professionally, right? So now it's one of them things where it's like I had to take the limits off of it. Like I had to take the limits off of what I could do, what I could achieve. And at the end of the day, I had to learn that in life you are going to fail at many things, right? You're going to fall many times, but that should not stop you. It's about getting back up and trying again. That way may have not worked. Maybe doing it another way. Maybe, and it was like, for me, once I took the limits off of what I could do, what I believed I could do, it changed my perspective. And even taking the limits off of who I believe could help me, like that that helped me too. Right. So that was like on the professional side. So like I said, I'm going to always go with both, right?
Because you're growing and you're mindful that you're growing in different areas of your life. You know that you have many titles, so you're nourishing like different parts of yourself. Mm-hmm. I like to think of it as like a tree. Like, you know who you are, like what's your tree, what's your base, but then all these different branches are different parts that like, just keep branching off, like if they're nourished the right way.
Yeah. It's true.
But did you want to finish what you were saying, or you were finished?
Oh yeah. No, so like I said, even on a personal side, right? So on a personal side, limiting my belief on what was good for me, right? Like, so my confidence in things, right? Mm-hmm. So like, for instance, I always go with like for me, my confidence in God, right? I believe that God could do a lot of things, right? And I believe he could do a lot of things for other people, but it wasn't until I switched it to me, like, do I believe God could do this for me? And it was that switch that it was like, take the limits off of what God can do. Take the limits off of your belief. Take the limits off of what you see. And it changed me to a whole nother person. Like, it grew me to be a whole nother woman. And that I'm forever grateful for. And it's still an everyday process, because you have to remind yourself, right? It's like a constant reminder, like, okay, today I may wake up feeling like, oh, I can conquer the world. But then tomorrow I may wake up like, yeah, I don't really want to get out of bed.
Yep, it'd be like that a lot of times.
Yeah, and those days happen. But even when you have those moments, like, I had to learn, and I thank goodness I have like great people around me who are reminders. Well, they'll tell me like, hey, make sure you write your Post-its out, right? So when I have those moments, like my best friend, she reminds me often. Like,
I love her.
Like, she's amazing, right? But she reminds me often, like, Riss, you know what you need to do, right? Write down in your journal these things, post them up so you see them. So when you have those moments, you have a fighting chance. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Versus you can pick and choose to do those things.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, just because like it's important to write those things down when you are feeling upbeat, when you are feeling like I can conquer things. That way, when you have those days where you don't feel like it, you have reminders around you to like for you to see visually, like, oh yeah, I can. Okay, here's a reminder today. Okay, cool.
Right. So you're spot on, because we all have these emotions, right? Sometimes we're happy, we're sad, we're down, and then just being a woman and all of our emotions just flowing all through us. Like, we got to be aware that that's what happens. But I like how you were talking about just making sure that you have that community, that support around you to encourage you when you're down, to know and recognize when you need a little extra, to just have that inspiration, so that when you get in those moments, you have, like you said, you can look around and see what you've been working so hard on, how you want to show up, how you want to be, the life that you want. Like, you're writing all of these things down, so when you're looking at it, you ain't trying to look at it right now, but eventually it starts to change your mind, like, all right, I know, and it'll be easier for you to continue on your journey. Because I think a lot of us, I feel like we can sometimes get into those ruts depending on the community, or like just the different things that are surrounding us, and we can almost like build our own cage if we continue to dwell in that.
Yes.
And then if we continue on, like I've seen it up close with a few of my family members, but you can just continue to be in this and to put up little bars every time something else comes around you, not realizing that like you can be digging your own grave.
Yes.
So don't do it like that. Like you gotta protect yourself, like and recognize and where you are so that you're not in that cage just decorating it with the flowers and
exactly
and all happy with.
And guess what? And even when people do that, you put yourself in a prison and you live in a prison, right? You live in a prison
within your own head that you can't get away from.
Exactly. You've just gotten comfortable being in a prison. You done decorated it and everything.
Exactly, with pretty little flowers, like, you know, I'm safe here. This is my area. But realizing that you're confined in this space because you're hurt, because you're afraid, because you are not confident enough. But you got to take the courage to get yourself out of that. Like courage, that has been a big word for me this year. Because I realized I was always like a little scared little bee for real. Like, I shouldn't say that, Chanel. You are not
you are not.
Just finding yourself. But I'm just saying, I did a lot of things this year. I took a lot of risk, and honestly, is why I ended up with 2 kids for real. But I realized that I can't keep myself down in there. Like, you know, like you gotta already know, like if you can work hard, if it's harder, then the payoff is going to be so much better, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Exactly. But it takes courage and all of that to move forward.
It's easy to confine yourself into a place. It's easy to just say, you know what, I'm gonna just lock myself in this room, or I'm gonna just lock myself away. That's easy. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm gonna walk through this. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm gonna work through this. You know, like that's hard. That's a challenge. That's not easy. You know, like that's not easy, but at the end of the day, it's worth it because you free yourself. Like it's freeing yourself every day. So, and there's nothing better than freedom.
Right. Especially when you can recognize it and you can see how hard that you've been working, like to get to that point. Like, wow, like I really had to dig myself out. But I did it though. And then you can just being that low, you can appreciate the highs. I think I read in the book, they said like life is like a pendulum. I don't know if that's how you say it, but they say like on the negative side, like it comes crashing down on it on that side, it gotta go back to the other side.
It does,
you know. So the payoff, like the good, is just maybe even better. But because you were able to experience that, you can appreciate that so much, and then find ways to build that up.
Absolutely.
So, it's deep. We look at us growing.
No, seriously. This is true growth. It's true growth because, you know, we were all at different places at one point in time in our lives. You know, like there was moments where I was fearful. I've had tons of moments where I was fearful. I had moments where I didn't have courage, or I didn't have confidence. Confidence in myself, confidence in my work, confidence in, you know, the steps that I was taking, being afraid to take risks, you know. And sometimes even when you're afraid to take risks, you kind of like freeze up where you're stuck, right? Like you're just stuck. So it's like you have to have the courage and the confidence to say, you know what, let me just move. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm still going to move, versus you just being stuck in a place out of fear, right? Because fear paralyzes you. So,
but that's the thing, the fight, flight, or freeze. Like you're saying the exact same thing. Like,
yeah.
So when thinking about like your reflection up into this moment, because like I feel like you've just been growing so much, and you're able to share it so well, and I already know you're empowering so many people. But when thinking about your reflection, How do you think that aligns with your definition of what she grows through?
So thinking of my reflection and what she grows through, I believe that, like, reflecting on my life, reflecting on my journey, and what she grows through is one of them things where it's like, no matter what, like I said, there's going to be obstacles. No matter what, life is going to hit you. It's going to try to fight you, right? But you, even when you get knocked down, right? Because there's going to be many times where you get knocked down. There's going to be many times when you fail. It's about getting back up. It's about learning the lessons. It's about taking those lessons and growing through them, not repeating the cycles. It's breaking the cycles. It's working through it, and as you work through things, they grow you naturally. As you take the things that people look at as that happen to them and allow them to happen for them, that's growing through those moments. You know what I mean? So when life, like I said, when life is knocking you down, at some point you have to get up. At some point you're going to get up. And it's like, okay, that's what happened. How do I take this and find the positive in it? How do I take this and find the growth in it? Find something in it to say, all right, this didn't just happen to me, this happened for me. And this is where you turn the corner, and that's how you grow. That's growing through things. So to me, when it says, she grows through, right, things, that's what that represents to me. It's like, no matter what happens in life, how do I allow me to become better? How do I allow me to come out of this fire, right? Beautiful. And it reminds me of the story of the what is it? What's the bird? The phoenix. It's the phoenix, right? That comes out of the fire, and it's beautiful. It's like out of the ashes, there's beauty, right? Like out of anything, right? That pressure applies to it, right? Comes out beautiful. So it's glowing through the hardest moments. It's coming out on the other side, and the beautiful part of it is being able to help somebody else walk through it. It did not kill you. You didn't die. Let's keep it moving.
Mic drop right there. Let's keep it moving. Oh my goodness. I don't even see. I was just so much into your story. I was just taken aback. Like, I'm lost for words, because I think that everything you're saying is just resonating, and this is why I had to bring you on, because I know that we align so much, because we be growing together, right? Like, and then you always were, inspiring me and listening to the things that I would tell you and giving me different ways of thinking, just having that support of other perspectives, who actually genuinely care about your being. So yeah, we just got to continue on, because life is, we know life is gonna life, but I feel like it's all for a purpose. There's no accidents, or like it's cause and effect, basically, like but you get to choose your next choice, and then that effect is going to lead to another thing, and you got to just make the best choices for yourself in that moment, and you'll get far. No matter how much you may feel down in that moment, being able to recognize that you're feeling that, or even just sitting with it a little bit, like taking the time to feel how it feels, write it down. So that you can find the beauty in that, find the growth in that. What is yourself? What is your body? What is your mind trying to tell you? And how you can take this feeling and make it into something beautiful. And then when you get to do that, it feels better, and you'll be able to feel better that you did that thing. You know, you pulled yourself out. And if you can pull yourself out of what you did, what you thought was going to be the worst thing ever, and you're still here, you can do anything. So it's definitely freeing. I've heard this word. I've learned the definition of this word, liberating.
Yes.
So liberation, I'm like, wow, that's gonna be my word.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think you dropped so many gems right now. Do you have any other gems that you can give to our listeners and our Black women as they continue to, you know, grow through their self-discovery journeys, their just healing journeys, just their journeys?
I'll say this. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Like, being vulnerable, like, people will look at it as a weakness, but it's actually a strength. It's acknowledging your emotions, it's acknowledging your feelings and working through them. You know, it's okay to not be okay. You know, it's okay to have days where it's like, I'm not okay today. You know, I'll say, don't sit there too long, you know, work through it, but acknowledge it, you know, acknowledge those places. Another thing would be, don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm learning there's a vulnerability that you have to ask for help. And it's you have to like lay down your pride, right?
Right.
You have to really lay down your pride to say, hey, I don't know this. This is what I want, but I don't know how to get there, or I don't know this. So it's like, who do I ask? How do I ask? And not being afraid to ask, right, for help. Like, and not be afraid, like, because I know a lot of people like look at it like, oh, I'm afraid to look stupid. Who cares? Who cares? Actually, it's very smart to acknowledge that I don't know this and be okay with, like, I don't know this, but you don't have to stay with the I don't know it. It's I don't know this, but I want to know. So let me ask, right? Or let me work through it. Or let me figure out someone who may know, or whatever. That's another thing, because that's something I had to learn. And this is the, you know, big one. I am what people call the strong friend, right? You know how everyone has the strong person? It's okay to not always listen.
Yes. I had resonating with me because, yes.
This is a double-sided thing, okay? This is a double-sided thing. All right. It's okay to say no as the strong person. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's important to take time for yourself because you're always helping others. You're always trying to give to others, but there's moments where you do not have a cup of anything to give. You need your cup poured into, and you need to have other people, your tribe, right, of people who acknowledges when you are not at those moments, who's able to pour back into you, right? And to be able to say no from takers, because takers are going to no matter what take. It's okay to have moments. So on the other side of the coin, for those who have strong friends, for those who have,
you know, she's giving us a little bit of everything. So okay.
Exactly. So for those who have the strong friends,
we need that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for those who have the strong friends, they are not superheroes. They are also human. Strong friends are human too. They have feelings too. They may not necessarily wear their emotions on their sleeves, but they have them. They feel them. Respect it. You know, respect it. Respect when they say no or whatever. Respect when they have nothing to give at the moment. And it's okay to say, I have nothing to give at the moment. You know, respect them. And if you can, be there for them in those moments. Don't always be about self, you know, but being willing to, you know, but that was for my, you know, my strong people, because listen, I'm the strong person. And like I said, through my tragedy, I got to see a whole nother side of people. And it was just like, wow, like, whoa, okay, all right. And I got to the point where like I didn't even have the capacity to deal with people at some point where it was just like, you know what? I don't have it to give. Sorry, but not sorry. You know? And it did take tragedy for me to get to that point of saying, hey, not today. You know, like I love you, but not today. So I just want to encourage you to, you know, be able to say no and create the balance of what you can handle in those moments. You know, because it's okay to not be able to handle everything. Like, you know, we're human. You're human. You're not a robot. You know, so acknowledging where you are.
Exactly. Whew. This was a good one. This was definitely a good one. So if you're the strong friend, definitely take what Rissa has been talking about with the gems and that she's dropped. And if you do have strong friends, we definitely need to hear and feel that support sometimes, or just being acknowledged that we're strong, even though we don't even want that label. But if you can acknowledge that we've been working hard, like that would just even you know, help.
Yeah.
So this conversation has been just everything. I'm glad that you came in and, you know, poured into us like I said you were going to do, and the conversation was just so dope. And I know with all your titles that everything that you're doing, the makeup artist and the hairstylist, how can our listeners just get all up in and support you and connect with you and all the things?
Okay, so I of course have social media, right? And my Instagram, because I got a couple, but my Instagram that connects you to everything. The Instagram that connects everybody to everything is Larissa D Lane, like Larissa D as in daughter Lane, right? And that's how you can stay connected with me, and that's how you can. And through that page, you'll be able to see, you know, ways to, you know, support and stuff like that for me.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. It was great. Come on.
Yes, I miss your beautiful self. You know, I have to see you soon.
I know.
And I'm proud of you. You're doing so much. And I'm so beyond proud of you. I'm so proud to watch you grow. I'm so proud to watch you take the steps. We've had many conversations, right? And just to watch you just like progress and to just, you know, have the vision and want to do things, and to actually like activate it, to actually like start walking towards it. Right? Like that. I'm so proud of you for that. You are a phenomenal mother, a phenomenal woman. Just you even creating this platform to help encourage other women. You're just amazing, Nelly.
And I received that because I want to just immediately give that same energy back into you. But I just that really means a lot to me, because I feel like I do so much, and a lot of like you were saying, like as you continue to grow along your journey, you realize that other people are watching you and inspired by you. It might not feel like it in the moment, but when you actually hear those things, like I just said, like tell your friends that, you know, that can make somebody's day, their week, and just give them the motivation to keep going. Because I've learned, you know, even with a couple of my family members, you can be smiling and really be hurt on the inside. So it's love. And I appreciate all of the things that, you know, you said, and I just want to give it all back to you, because we can share.
Yeah, we can share. I love it.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the What She Goes Through podcast. As we wrap up this enriching conversation, I want to just express my heartfelt gratitude to our guest Larissa for sharing her journey, her wisdom, and just her her vibe, her spirit with us. Her story is a beacon of hope, a reminder that we are all capable of overcoming self limiting beliefs and doubts. You can connect with Larissa on her social media platforms at Larissa D. Lane. As for me, your host, feel free to reach out via Instagram and Facebook at What She Grows Through. Please rate 5 stars and review the show. We love to hear your thoughts on this episode and any suggestions for future topics. And remember, beautiful, that growth is not a destination, but a continuous journey. And each step that you take, no matter how small, is a step towards wholeness. Your doubts don't define you. They are simply stepping stones towards becoming that extraordinary woman that you were born to be. This show is all about mindfully empowering Black women, and your voice matters too. So, if you have a story that you like to share or just want to join as a guest, please send over a message at hello@whatshegrowsthrough.com. And let's just continue to grow through what we go through. I know you heard that before, but celebrating every victory and learning from every challenge, and just keep nurturing your inner strength, keep embracing your authentic self, and just keep blossoming. Thank you again. I look forward to talking with you again. Until then.